Mr. Wesley Cannon, the time has finally come. The World Series of Poker 2024 schedule has been released. The Great Pilgrimage is ready to be planned. How are you feeling about that?
It's always exciting whenever the World Series releases their schedule. I think on Twitter there were a couple weeks of anticipation going on beforehand, and they finally released it. As we're recording this, I want to say it was last Friday.
Yeah, it sounds right. Something like that.
So,
yeah, the day after we thought it was going to come out, which would have been the day of our podcast, which was Thursday. So the following day would be Friday.
Bingo.
Math.
Yes. So, yeah, it's always super exciting to look at and sort of plan out, especially since you and I are both going to be firing a lot of events this year.
Yeah, man.
Winning a lot of money.
Oh, my God. Yes, no, I'm super looking forward to this year's World Series. We have a bunch of new events happening. Today's going to be a fun one for us because, I mean, not only are we just giddy and love to talk about the World Series and it coming up, but there's a bunch of new events that came out, and we plan on kind of doing this a little bit differently. So instead of just kind of naming off all the events and, you know, that kind of boring, that would be boring, right?
That would be boring.
The listeners can go online and just look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to list off the events and kind of go over them a bit. But with that, we're going to go ahead and help people who are trying to plan their trip figure out what's going to be the most, not profitable, but the most value for a trip. So, you know, like say you have a 5K bankroll, we're going to let you know like what 1 week period might be the best to fit your schedule. Say you have 10K plus bankroll, we'll let you know maybe which 2 weeks, 2 week time frame might be best for you to go to have the most fun out there.
Yeah, and I think as far as we're going to be focusing mostly on the low to mid stakes buy-ins. Anyone who's playing the high roller stuff, for one, I've never played that, so I don't really know.
Yeah,
I don't have comments on it. And then two,
they probably already know what's going on. Like they've already got their stuff planned. They don't, you know, I mean, they'll listen to this. They probably don't pay attention to low stakes stuff, so they'll come here for that.
Right.
I mean, low stakes subjectively, obviously.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. So like, and yeah, I think most of our listeners are, if they're going to the World Series, they're going to be playing stuff in the 300 to maybe 1,500 or 3K at the most.
Yeah, and then with the exception of the 10K main event, which people will kind of shot take in naturally. Yeah.
As will we.
How many World Series of Pokers have you attended, Wes? Or what year will this be for you?
This will be my 4th World Series, and it will be my 2nd full World Series.
Full World Series, man. I envy the thought of doing a full World Series from beginning to end, but my sanity, I just don't know if I can handle it, man. I'm not built like that.
I don't know if anyone really is, and we'll touch on that a little bit in this episode too, how to keep yourself sane when you're out there for a long period of time.
Smash a $250,000 score at the beginning will help a lot.
That helps a lot. I remember last year, I think it was 4 weeks in. So, you know, we're about 2/3 of the way through, and I had the thought of, man, I finally feel a little bit burnt out.
Yeah, because I remember asking you continuously, like, how are you dealing with this right now? How have you not gotten sick? Like, every time I go to Vegas, back when the Rio was around, I'd get the Rio flu every single time, and you seem to do fine.
I did well. I eventually, as you remember, got very sick at the very end of it.
It's a good time to get sick on the tail end when you're ready to get out of there. You caught the vid?
Yes, I did catch it.
A lot of people were. So, it's almost, not to scare anyone away from the World Series of Poker, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of germs passing around between all the different nationalities that your body isn't really attuned to. But we're not here to talk about germs. We're no scientists or stuff like that. This will be, getting back on track, my 6th or 7th World Series. I think it's my 6th World Series. I don't, you know my brain, like, yeah. You could probably tell me how many it is. No, I believe it's my 6th. I started in 2014. As many of you may remember from last week's episode where I kind of detailed my poker journey so far. So, I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of people refer to the World Series of Poker as summer camp. It's essentially like, the adult summer camp. Am I right?
That's what it feels like. That's what it felt like last year, especially for me. Yeah, it's a period of time, for me as someone who's going to do it for the full series again. It's really cool to just be out there for a month and a half, and really my only job is to like play poker as well as I can.
Yep.
And that means a few things as far as making sure I'm rested and focused and not going out drinking,
Partying
a
and all that
bunch.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'll have a couple beers here and there and dinners and stuff, but I'm also not the hard party type. I'm there to work essentially.
Yeah.
But work is fun when you're out there. That's the best part about it. I will not be staying there for a month and a half. I haven't got my schedule fully locked in yet, but I think last year I was just over three. I spent just over 3 weeks out there. It'll probably be something similar to that this year. Not fully sure yet. What I did was like play through most of June, come home, and then go back for the main event.
Yeah.
So that'll be something like that, maybe even a little bit more this year, fingers crossed, dependent on my schedule. So,
Yeah. Well, and kind of as you alluded to, I've thought to myself, how am I going to handle it if at the beginning I don't just rip off 200K?
yeah.
Or, something kind of sizable.
Well, that kind of leads me to my first question then. So, outside of the Gladiator,
Yeah.
which event are you looking forward to most? And the main event, but besides those two events, which one are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I think so. So what I would say personally is the Monster Stack is the event that I think is the best balance of like buy-in structure. I think it has the best structure. It has hour levels, and you start with 50K at, I think it's at 200 big one. But basically, you can max late reg at the end of 10 levels, and I think you will have 25 bigs. I'm not, or it might be even more.
I think it's more.
I think it's more like, I don't know. They actually don't have the structures out, but I think it'll be the same as before.
We could probably look at last year's structure and get a good idea, but it does. I mean, you have heaps, and I think so. Before we get ahead of that or ahead of ourselves, I want to also mention the Monster Stack, my number one event that I'm looking forward to playing outside of the main event. Like you said, the value $1,500 buy-in, almost $1 million up top. It's usually like I think
more.
So
sometimes.
Okay. So I don't remember what last year. The year before was 966K. Last year was over 1 million, maybe.
I'm almost positive.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's also a one entry per flight thing. And on top of that, this year, well, actually, maybe it's the same as last year. They have 3 flights this year. Was it 2
It was
or 3?
2.
Yeah.
It
So
used
this
to be
year they
2.
have an extra flight.
Yeah. So it's going to be well over $1 million up top.
Oh yeah. So you want to do an over under?
On what first place
Yeah.
for the Monster Stack? Oh
Yeah, yeah.
boy. Okay, I just thought of a number, and
I got a line too. What's your number, and I'll give you an over under.
1,144,000.
Over. $100?
No.
I've been scooping Wes on these bets lately. It's been great.
I won the one last week.
Oh, for $20, yeah.
Yeah. For $20.
How? By the way, I wanted to thank you for that $250 dinner you bought me a couple days ago.
Oh my God.
That was it was delicious. Wes treated me to Cove in Edina. Nice steak. We ate steak, shrimp, or not shrimp, steak, sushi, drinks. It was a good time.
Yeah, it
fun.
was great.
Right after Wes bagged almost $1 million in the mystery bounty at Canterbury here in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. That's pretty incredible.
I did do that.
Yeah. So, anyways, Monster Stack. Both looking forward to that. Should we, before we kind of get into the other things, should we just go over the basics of the schedule and kind of what we're looking at so far?
Yeah, let's do that. Maybe
Okay.
kind of run through, highlight some of the new events and what we're looking at.
Let's do that. Let's start off highlighting the new events here. So this year in the World Series of Poker, there's 99 live events. So I think that's 99 separate bracelets. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. And it says there were 95 last year. I want to say the year before there were like 89, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Here's one thing I want to mention before we get into it, because a lot of these events we're going to start off talking about are going to be low buy-in events, under 1K, anywhere from $300 to $800 buy-in events. A lot of the bigger name professionals have been speaking their opinion on these events, that they're diluting the WSoP brand a little bit, removing some of the value from winning a bracelet. I do understand where they're coming from, because essentially there's just so many more bracelets giving out. You know what I mean? It kind of dilutes, but in my opinion, it also doesn't. I mean, we're getting insane fields in these tournaments now, and it's also allowing people who can't afford $3,000 buy-in plus events to come in and get their hands wet in the most prestigious tournaments in the world. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it's great that they have them.
I do as well. I mean, I think if there's one thing we could complain about, it's non-Vegas World Series of Bracelets going out on like Michigan Online or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, God, online bracelets like anything that's not during the normal World Series
should be a ring or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. During the World Series, I think it's great that they have online events during the World Series as well. I'm definitely not opposed to that, and even going towards the Player of the Year points, like a lot of people seem to be. That doesn't bug me, but that's not where we're getting into it. Let's go over some of the new events here. You want to start off?
Yeah, so event number 41 starts on June 15. I didn't even see this one. So last night I went through and I jotted down, I made a spreadsheet of all the events that I might play and kind of budgeting out what my buy-ins might add up to. I did not even see this event on there.
This one is, I mean, for all you gamblers out there, this is the one for you.
Yeah, so it's a $1,500 mixed no limit hold'em PLO double board bomb pot event. So I don't know how, I've played a bunch of bomb pots in home games and whatnot. I don't know how this is going to be structured.
I don't explain what a bomb pot is.
Yeah, so what a bomb pot is everybody. I'll explain it in terms of how we played in a cash game.
Okay.
So for maybe we're playing 2-5 or 5-10, we'll do a bomb pot every half hour maybe. So it's where everyone puts in a set amount, like we'll say $20. You get your 2 cards or your 4 cards, and then the dealer puts out 2 flops. So everyone gets to see the flops, and then you just play from there. And you have 2 boards at once. And so if you and one person are left in the pot and you each have the best hand on one board, you chop the pot. Right?
Okay.
The pot is split in 2 for each board. And so obviously there's a ton of value in getting everyone to fold, because then you win the whole thing. Or there's a ton of...
You mean post flop, because everybody gets to see the flop, right?
Yes, yeah. Everyone sees the flop. So if you have like the nuts on one board, you don't really want to trap it because you might still just chop.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. That's so crazy. No limit and pot limit Omaha mix.
So they'll probably do like an orbit of each or something.
Yeah, and how do you think that'll work? So everybody's going to see a flop every hand, do you think?
Yep. Everyone sees a flop.
So everybody, it's like an ante, essentially.
Yeah, my thought is that the way they'll do it is just have, they'll do the clock where maybe it's every 30, 40, 60 minutes, the amount that the ante essentially goes up, or the amount that you put in the middle to start goes up. And then, yeah, the more I think about it, the more fun that sounds to play, honestly.
I mean, if you're feeling spicy, this is probably the event you want to hop in. And also, it being at the $1,500 price point, I feel like this is going to get a lot of players.
Yeah.
So,
I can't believe they made this event.
Yeah, I mean, this is for the true degens out there. I don't know if I'm going to be playing this. I know you're not much of a PLO player. Do you think you'll gamble here?
Who knows? I play. I mean, I'll do PLO bomb pots in home games whenever we run them.
Yeah.
Just looking at the schedule, day 1A of the Monster Sack is on the 14th, the day before. So if I'm playing, I would prioritize day 1B of the Monster Sack.
Oh, for sure. Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, the only way I would play this is if I bagged day 1A on the 14th and then had a couple days off from the Monster Stack to just gamble. But there might be, I mean, the beautiful thing about Vegas is every single day there's so many good events. So this one's up in the air for me.
Yeah.
Second up, we have the second new event.
Yeah, second one I know I'm not going to play.
Okay.
I think I know you look young, and people might be surprised, but
Here comes the boomer comment.
You're getting up there in years, Max. Event number 65 is the 5K Seniors High Roller. No limit hold'em on June 26th. I don't know. What do you think about this one? Are you going to hop in?
I greatly appreciate that. Being 37, I still have 13 years to go, but very kind of you to call me, at least say I look young.
Yeah. You do, people would be surprised that you're even 37.
So yeah, that's, seniors high roller, 5K buy-in. That's I'm looking forward to that. I was kind of surprised though when they called it a high roller at 5K. I mean, 5K is a lot of money, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But typically in terms of poker, high rollers are typically 25Ks plus when in consideration of being a World Series of Poker
Yeah,
event.
I think what it comes down to is when they do a 25K, that only gets a couple hundred entrants. So it's
Yeah.
like if you're going to limit it to 50 plus, if they did a 25K, there would be.
I'm
what,
willing to
a
bet
couple
this
dozen.
event gets a lot of players.
I think so too.
Yeah. So that will be event 65, so June 26th. For all you 50 plus players, hop in the 5K Seniors High Roller event. This next one is a new event. I actually looked into it a little bit. I'm not too fond of it personally.
Okay.
It's the $800 Independence Day celebration, no limit hold. And it's not because I don't have love for my country.
Oh, I was going to
Yeah,
just
I know.
accuse you of hating
I know.
America right there.
I knew exactly what you were about to hop into there. No, but I think the main reason, and I kind of went through these earlier, is because so you get there's one reentry per flight. It's $800, which is a cheap price point, but it's 30-minute blinds. So it's going to be turbo.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to a lot of the other 800 type of tournaments.
Yeah, but however, there are other 800s and lower buy-in events that in this series that we'll find that have 40-plus minute levels, which are just, I'm a deep structure kind of guy. Like, I love deep structure poker tournaments. And don't get me wrong, we have some sick turbo events we'll talk about. My favorite being the Super Turbo Bounty.
Really?
Oh, freeze out. Oh, God. Oh, gets me all excited, bro. But we'll
I think
talk.
that was the one last year where I skipped it and I came and was sweating you a bit, and I saw you just send this guy to the rail, and you had this huge smile on your
I
face.
sent many people to the rail. It was a great event. We'll talk about that later. So, yeah, so that's the $800 Independence Day celebration. We'll discuss all these lower buy-in stuff. You want to take the next one?
Yeah, so this one's interesting. It's a 1K no limit hold'em, which is there's nothing unusual about that, as they say, but it's actually during the main event. Day 1D of the main event is when this event starts. And I think it just, it's sort of a second chance tournament type of thing.
I think a lot of people were complaining last year about there being smaller buy-ins for recreational type players who busted the main event and didn't want to go home right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it does say it starts at 7 p.m. on day 1D of the main event. So if you've busted out pretty much at any point of the main event on day one. Yeah, it doesn't give any more details, but it sounds like it's going to be probably a pretty typical structure, maybe 40-minute levels.
Yeah, considering I busted day 2 of the main, I would have gladly hopped in this last year.
Mm-hmm. Assuming you can still hop in.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
It does say it's a 2-day event. Maybe it's 30-minute levels.
Oddly, it does. It says so. It's the 2 events. It doesn't say the date on it on here, but not a big deal. On the schedule, you could probably see it, but that doesn't matter. Next up, and kind of following in the footsteps of the 1K during the main event, is the $3,000 mid-stakes championship, no limit hold'em. This is another event you can enter if you bust the main event. I think this one starts, it looks like, on July 11th, which is day 5 of the main event.
Okay.
So if you had a whole week taken off of work or whatever, came to play the main event, busted early, but we're still in Vegas and looking for something good to play, I'd assume this would be a good one. However, I've not seen the structure for this yet.
Yeah, well, and I think this one it's the type of tournament where there are multiple day 1 flights, which I don't remember any 3Ks that had that in the past. I feel like a lot of those 3 to 5Ks just had one day 1, and then you just played through.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
So these next few events that we're going to talk about, also new to the World Series this year. I probably won't be involved in any of these, maybe one of them, but they range. Looks like they range mostly from 5 to 10K. However, there's a 1K and a 1500 in there. Let's kind of fly through these so we can get on track here. But June 4th, we have the 5K 8-handed no limit with a 1 re-entry. I do love this. It's 50,000 starting chips, 60-minute levels, 1-hour level tournaments. Like, I'm all about that. So if I hit a score, maybe that will be one of my shot-taking events besides the main event.
That's early on, though. So you probably haven't hit a score at that point.
Says who, bro? Come on.
Also, I will say, I think that's the same day as the 1K Super Turbo Free, or not mystery, but just Super Turbo
Get it together,
Bounty.
bro. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, no, I will gladly be skipping the 5K for that Super
Yeah.
Turbo Bounty. That event is so good. So June 4th, the 5K. June 13th, the 10K Big O Championship, which is 5-card PLO, high-low, 8 or better. I mean,
Is that even real poker?
God. I mean, that's beyond my abilities. I do love me some high low, but 5 card PLO high low, it's just like I wouldn't even 60-minute level, 60,000 in chips. Like the structure sounds incredible, but I'm not going to be spending $10,000 on that event.
Agreed.
I bet a lot of the full series regulars will be loving that event though. Like that seems like one where they could just get in there and have fun.
Yeah, I agree. There's even a member of our house out there who I don't know if he's going to fire the 10K, but this is the type of tournament I feel.
Mr. Bradley.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's 4 of us or 5 of us that plan on. We got a house rented in Vegas during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. So we'll be at that place. Depending on how long I'm there. I'll be there my entire summer. You'll be there your entire summer. So, anyways, what do we got next?
Next up, there's a 1K mystery bounty PLO, probably very similar to the 1K mystery bounty no limit hold'em, but just PLO.
This is a little enticing.
Yeah, I'm just not a PLO guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then there's a 10K 8-game mixed 6-handed championship. These last two these are July 9th and 10th. These last two that I've said.
So late in the main event.
Yep. And then the final one is the 1500 6-handed PLO.
So all you PLOers out there will have a little bit more to choose from this year. And I know that a lot of people were asking for that. So it's kind of cool to see them listening a little bit on that part.
Yeah, looks like they are. So, all right. So now that we kind of went over all the new stuff, should we get into what we sort of recommend for either newcomers or people who are trying to plan out, who have a certain budget of buy-ins they're looking to play?
So again, a disclaimer I want to give is, I put this down as like, we did it for people with $5K budget or $5,000 budget, people with a $10,000 budget. This is at your discretion. You don't have to have $5,000 to play these events. This is just kind of a way for us to encapsulate each thing or each section. So starting with like say you're going to Vegas, you have a 5K budget. Mm-hmm. We're going to list all of the events that we think would work well for that type of budget. And then once we finish listing all those events off, we'll give you like a week where we think you'll get the most value out of that budget.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there are a couple stretches of like 8 to 10 days where you can get, I think the key to that is sort of, if you're there for 2 of the weekends, maybe you fire the last flight of one of the big events, and then you're there through the following weekends, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and get this kind of started. And these are all going to be in order. I, like the boomer I am, wrote these all down on paper instead of on my phone.
Hey, you're only 50. It's okay.
So this is also a new event that I don't think that we brought up, is the $500 freeze out kickoff. They didn't have that last year, did they?
They had the 500 freeze out. It's just new. The new thing about it is being at the beginning.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's the kickoff, essentially, the part of it. The $500 freeze out goes without being said. No re-entry. I think there's only one flight, May 29th. If I'm there at the beginning of the series, I'm absolutely firing that one.
I'll be in that.
I think it's 40-minute levels, too, for a 500?
Usually that one's 30.
Is it really? So let's take a look here. I just happen to have this up here. $500 WSoP. Okay, 30-minute levels, 25K starting. All right, Wes. Good thing we didn't bet on that one. Second up, I got the 1K. So typically, most of these are going to be under 1K, but I do have a couple of 1Ks in there just because of how much value's in them.
Yeah.
The $1,000 Mystery Millions, May 30th. Most of you are familiar with this tournament.
Yep.
4 flights this year. I don't know if they had that last year or not.
I think they did. Have 4 last year.
So I actually skipped the first week last year. And I know you played this event, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I fired a couple times. I cashed once, but I did not make day 2, and so I didn't have a shot at a bounty.
Okay.
And the way that one works, unlike so if you're used to a mystery bounty at whether it's the one like this last weekend at Canterbury in Minnesota or wherever your local casino is,
MSBTs, World Series of Pokers, etc. They all have them now.
They all have them. Most of the time, it's the sort of thing where if you make the money, you're eligible for a bounty. For these, though, you have to make day 2, which is really only 3 or 4% of the field.
So yeah, you make the money in day 1 in these tournaments.
Yes,
but bounties don't kick in then. You still got to get through the day. And then you said like how many? 12% make the money? I would guess
It's World Series pays 15%.
15%. But then we got to go all the way down to like 4% before day 2, to which then you start getting envelopes.
Yeah, but
You're already in the money.
But the nice side of that is the less bounties there are, the more money that can be put into each individual one, which is why they're able to guarantee $1 million bounty.
I like that. I do like that. So 30-minute levels day 1, 40-minute levels day 2 sound right?
Yeah.
40K starting stack. So essentially, the top bounty is guaranteed $1 million, and first place is also guaranteed $1 million.
Is that a guarantee? I know they did it last year. I feel like they kind of did that off
right on their site. Top bounty guaranteed $1 million, and first place guaranteed $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you and I could both win $1 million.
Yeah. Last year, didn't they have 2 $1 million bounties?
They did. So there's a pretty decent chance of that, actually, too.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that 3 people winning $1 million each off a $1,000 buy-in. Incredible. Hopefully, I'll get there for the beginning of it this year. I love to go camping around that time of the year here in Minnesota. That's kind of the start of the camping season. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me
What
like
a
that.
nerd.
Yeah, I know. No, I love camping, and my wife does too. So we might camp out the first weekend, and then then I'll make my pilgrimage. But after that, so we got the $800 deep stack on June 5th. This one's going to have 1 re-entry. It's only 1 flight. Again, 30-minute levels, so it's a little bit turbo. It's going to be kind of like your Saturday event at your local casino, right?
Sure.
Something like that. $800 buy-in. 40K starting, which is a decently sized starting stack. We actually have 2 friends, our acquaintances, friends that we play poker with here in Minnesota, both who won the $800 deep stack in the same year, Mr. Rich Alsip and Rob Wazwaz.
Yeah. Basically the exact same type of tournament.
Yeah. They were actually rooming together as well, and they both shipped the 2 separate $800 deep stacks. I mean, that's
pretty legendary.
And they were both over 2,500 entries, I would guess.
I don't remember. One, I think Rob's paid a lot more, like $350 or something.
Yeah.
But
$350,000 for an $800 buy-in is unheard of. You just won't get that anywhere else.
yeah.
So definitely, if you're on that budget, hop in there June 5th. You know what the next one is on my list?
Oh, let's see here. $300 buy-in Gladiator event.
Yeah, that is the one, Wes.
Man. Oh,
It's $3 million guaranteed.
yep. Will be easily exceeded.
2 re-entries per flight, 4 flights. So, yeah, I mean, what is that? 8 entries total you could put into that thing?
12.
Oh, yeah, because it's 3 essentially. It's the buy-in and then 2 re-entries, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 12 entries.
Ooh.
Yeah, what is that? $3,400?
36. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, math. No, it's 34. Oh, it's 36. It's $300 buy-in. You are correct, sir. Anyways, Wes, as many of you know, our very first episode, if you want to go check that out, I think it was August last year we released that.
I think we released it in September.
Released it in
started.
September. Anyways, Wes got 4th place, or third place. Third place out of how many entries were there?
23,088.
23,088 entries.
Yep. The second biggest live tournament of all time.
And you got 3rd for 210-ish K?
Yep.
That's pretty sick,
That was
man.
pretty nice.
So,
Got to do that again.
So you're going to get 2nd this year?
Yeah, I'll probably get 2nd this year. I don't want to go too overboard, and then I'll win it next year.
We have to have something to strive for.
Yeah.
At least for a couple years.
And then after I win that, I guess I just quit. I don't know.
Yeah, you might quit or just try and win the main. You just switch it to the main,
I guess.
All right, so we got the $300 Gladiator. That starts June 6th. Multiple flights, 4 of them, as I said. The next one, this one will be kind of fun, too. I've never played this event, but the $600 no limit PLO mix. So small budget, fun times, right? Like, I know a lot of this will be, I mean, you're going to get all of the amateurs in this event. Mm-hmm. People who have no idea what they're doing, especially in the PLO street specifically. That one's going to be June 11th. You have 2 re-entries, 30-minute levels, 40K starting stack. Mm-hmm. So that seems like a pretty juicy one to hop in. I don't know if I'll play that or not. I mean, we'll see what else is going on around that time. You know what, Wes, how about you take it from here? This is starting at the top of this page that I wrote it down.
So yeah, then after that, June 13th, there's an $800 deep stack. Another one, as we had mentioned, there were 2 of them a couple years ago when our friends shipped both of them. And then actually the day right before that, there's hold on.
Yeah, no, you're right. So backing it up here, Notch, you got ahead of yourself, Wes. So before the $800 deep stack, there's a $600 PLO deep stack on June 12th.
Okay, for some reason I thought that's the one you had just talked about.
Gotcha, yeah. So
all these tournaments sound so similar.
They
Good
do.
Lord.
So there's a $600 no limit and PLO mix on June 11th. And then the
Okay.
very following day, there's a $600 PLO deep stack.
Wow.
I mean, the PLO players...
It's almost too much. It's like, how is there time for anything else?
I know, right? So the PLO players are going to be getting after it this year. The PLO $600 deep stack on June 12th will be 2 reentries, 30-minute levels, 30K starting stack. Maybe one to take a shot in if you're not much of a PLO player. I think that's going to be their lowest PLO event. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's close if not. So, and then the one you had just mentioned.
Yeah, the 800 deep stack, very similar. It's 30-minute levels day 1, 40 minutes day 2. Then we're going forward to June 25th, the Poker News deep stack.
I'm looking forward to this. This is actually another new event that we didn't bring up.
Yeah. So what about this one are you looking forward to? It looks like the structure's a little better.
Yeah, so the structure in this one is going to be a lot better, actually. So for a $600 buy-in event, just 1 re-entry. I think there is a couple flights. I'm not 100% sure on that, actually. There might be a couple flights, but it starts June 25th. You get 1 re-entry per flight. So you can buy in and then you can re-enter, and that's it. Day 1's going to be 40-minute levels, which is above all the other $600 events, which are 30-minute levels. And then day 2, 60-minute levels.
Yeah, that's 60-minute levels on day 2 of a 600. You're not going to get that anywhere
It's
else.
the only, yeah, exactly. You just won't. So, and then you start with 30K. So I am, in my recommended week, we'll talk about, that is definitely one you don't want to miss. And I think they're going to have a lot of extra coverage on that being a Poker News championship event.
Yep.
So that'd be a cool one to play.
Yeah, then we got the $600 deep stack that starts the day after. That's a little quicker structure. Just 30-minute levels the whole time, 1 re-entry. June 27th, so this one's interesting. I actually played it last year, the $500 Salute to Warriors.
Yeah, and this one actually is another decent structured one, isn't it?
It is. So 40-minute levels, and I maxed late reg this last year, and I had 25 big blinds to start.
That's
so
pretty sweet, because typically you late reg something this day, you get 8 big blinds.
Yeah.
Max late reg.
Yeah, I think when you max late reg, World Series tends to give you like 10 to 12 big blinds, somewhere in there, maybe 13. So especially having 25 in a 500 is pretty
And you
pretty
start
cool.
with 50K. 40-minute levels, 50K starting stack this year. Did you start with that last year?
Yeah, 25 bigs. So big blind is 2K at that point.
Okay. And another cool thing about this too is I don't know what the cut is, but some of the proceeds go to veteran organizations. Mm-hmm. So it's a good way to support our troops and veterans, which I think is super cool.
It is.
Again, guys, these are all the budget events. And I mean, we're not now through 2 pages of these. Going into, I think, our 3rd and final page of the budget events, the $400 Colossus.
Yeah.
June 28th, $400 Colossus. 3 different flights on that one. How many times you play that? You play that every year you go?
Just last year.
Okay. What was your experience with that?
Well, I didn't cash, so I hated it. No.
Hey, that's all I needed from you, bro.
I don't know. So the first day one, I actually got in right at the beginning, and it was, great. It was a good tournament.
Didn't it used to be a turbo? I feel
don't
like I
know.
remembered having 20 or 30-minute levels back in the day.
I don't know. I doubt it
when
was
you
ever
were in
20.
diapers.
Yeah. Yeah, not that I wasn't allowed to drive a car back then.
But this one, actually, I forgot. So $400 event with 40-minute levels on this one as well.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an increase. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong. But 40-minute levels, 40K starting stack, 3 flights with 1 reentry. So, I mean, definitely one to just fire away at.
Yeah, this was kind of the original version. This used to be the lowest buy in the World Series had.
Yeah, and then it was so successful that they started sprinkling them throughout the entire series. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden, one thing I want to say is I think that these smaller buy-in events, while they do pack, the Horseshoe and the Paris ballrooms a lot, like they get people in the mix. The cash games are going to be juicier. There's going to be people taking shots at the 3Ks and up to that. I mean, I think it's good for the economy, essentially, for the poker economy, that is.
Sure.
So after the $400 Colossus on June 28th, there's the $800 Independence Day celebration. That's July 3rd. Same date, potentially the same.
That's the first
day of the main.
Yeah, the first day one of the main.
I'll be skipping that event.
Yeah. Realistically, I will too, but we'll see. I probably won't play the main till day 1C or 1D.
Yeah, typically we like to play, because you only get one entry in the main, as many of you know. Playing the later flights typically is what most people like to do, just because you're going to get softer fields in theory. People missing a lot of times recreational players are going to be at home during the 4th of July and then come in and firing the 2 days, one of the 2 days after that.
Quick side note, main event, day 1 strategy. The first 2 times I've played it, I've played day 1C. Because you get, as you said, it's better to fire one of the last 2 days, but I don't like doing day 1D because, for one thing, it's
the European day.
It can be so crowded. And then 2, if I play day 1C, I get to play the first day 2, which means I'll have a day off before day 3 as well.
Do you remember in the main event when, without getting too crazy out of line here, when I think COVID restricted flights for some reason, so they had to add one extra day into the main event
for the Europeans,
and all the Europeans came and played that flight. Like, you don't want to play that flight.
So I didn't play it that year, but yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, so that was like 2 years ago or something, 2 or 3 years ago.
In 21, it was the year it was in the fall.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. 2 more events that are in the budget here: $600 Ultra Stack, July 7th. This is kind of one of those gimmicky name ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like you get 60K in chips, but and one good thing to mention is don't get too enamored by the amount of the starting stack, because the blinds are usually correlated to that anyways.
Exactly. Yeah, you start at 200 BB instead of 100 BB, etc.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you see Ultra Stack or Deep Stack or Monster Stack, excluding the Monster Stack in this case for the World Series, they're gimmicky names. They're still that you're extremely deep through the first in the early levels, but as you get deeper, it becomes very shallow.
Yeah, these are all just basic. They just have to give everything a different name so they can do more tournaments.
Yeah, it's all a sales pitch essentially.
Yeah.
So the Ultra.
This is the one I think we both played last year at the end, and we both cashed. And I was...
we were right next to me.
I was just struggling through the end of it because I was starting to get sick, and it was probably a good thing I didn't even make day 2.
Yeah, I do remember that. We both cashed that, so that was cool. But Ultra Stack, July 7th. So if you bust day 1 of the main, or even in day 2, you can fire this. 2 re-entries per flight, 30 minutes day 1, 40 minutes day 2, 60K starting stack with 2 flights.
There you go.
Not a bad idea. Last event for the budgets, Wes?
Yeah, the last event is the $777 buy-in Lucky Sevens event. Wonder where they got that name.
Is that 7-handed?
It is 7-handed.
I love that.
30 minutes day 1, 40 minutes day 2. And first place is always guaranteed $777,777.
That's pretty
that's
sick.
A massive, massive score.
Yeah, I like that they made it. It might have been last year. I think it was 40 minutes on day 2. Because if it was 30 all the way through, that thing would be a hyper turbo essentially once you start getting deep.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Gladiator actually.
Okay, very similar to that. So Wes, before we move on to having a bigger budget and events you can play with that, I think we should talk about the recommended times you and I would recommend to others to go for. Say you have a 5K budget.
Yeah, and to be clear, to keep this simple, we're gonna say you're planning on playing about 5K in buy-ins. Obviously you have to spend money to
travel,
and whatnot.
Food, yeah.
But that's sort of built into it.
So, and I feel like you and I will have a lot of overlap when it comes to when a player should go during this time.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is June 24th through June 30th, or a day before and a day after that, depending on how long you can get off work or whatever you might have going on in your life. So in that time frame, June 24th through the 30th, you have the $600 Poker News event, which we talked about. Looking forward to that on the 25th.
Mm-hmm.
The $600 Deep Stack on the 26th. The $500 Salute to Warriors on the 27th. And the $400 Colossus on the 28th. So if you bust one, you got one at the next. And if you're, deep in the Poker News, you can skip all of those essentially.
Yeah, and the first, all those first 3 you can buy in twice total, right?
Yeah. So this is assuming that you have some extra bullets for each one.
Yes.
So
if and so what I was gonna say, that was also the time frame that I had picked out. The one thing I also wanted to say was if you started on June 21st and went through the end of June, if you were planning on maybe only limiting it to one buy-in per event, you could play the 1,500 millionaire maker and then play, you know, the 600, 600, 500, 400.
Okay.
Depending on how, you know, what your plan is. Obviously, if you're trying to stay around 5K or less in buy-ins, you're not going to be firing multiple times into a 1,500.
Exactly. And, you know, I actually, once we get into the 10K plus budget time frame that I recommend for people, we'll kind of get into a mix of these budget plus the 1,500s.
Yes.
So, yeah. So essentially we have the $600 Poker News, the $600 Deep Stack, the $500 Salute to Warriors, and the $400 Colossus back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Incredible structures, very, you know, and incredible price points if you're, you know, have a strict budget there.
Yep.
So moving on from that, this is kind of, imagine you have like a 10K plus budget, right?
Yep.
Again, you could have less, you could have more. This is just kind of a line that we drew for it.
Do we think, so if we're going on like a 10-day trip, do you think you and I have the same schedule here for the 10K?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. We've been through the series and looked at it enough. And each series, while they do add new events and there's all these different kind of new things coming in, they keep... There's always the 2 weekends where, like, there's the two main 1,500s, which is the Millie Maker and the Monster. They're 1 week after another. And then they have a bunch of good events later in between, and then the main, right?
Yep.
So, and that's consistent through each year of the World Series of Poker.
Yep. So...
Yeah, I think we're both going to probably land right in that time frame.
Yeah, get there for the monster stack through the weekend of the Millionaire Maker.
Yep, and maybe even beyond that, if you
you're
run deep in
it.
Millie. Yeah.
Yep.
So the 10K budget, essentially, these are going to be events ranging from 1K to essentially 3K or less.
Okay.
First up on the list, we had already talked about this because it was in the budget. The 5K budget is the 1K Mystery Millions. Mm-hmm. Don't think we got to get into that again. Those flights are from May 30th to June 2nd. How many flights is that again? 4 flights on that one. After that, and this one could be fun. I think, is this one on a Monday? I don't remember. Anyways, I think it lands on a Monday, which one thing I want to kind of disclaim is that if you're playing events on Mondays, typically they're going to be harder fields because a lot of the amateurs and recreationals are weekend warriors as well. You know what I mean? They come for the weekend
They'll come
stuff.
for those weekend events.
So if you're playing events on Mondays and Tuesdays and stuff, expect tougher fields essentially. Mm-hmm. Being at a $1,500 event, it might not be as bad. But if you start getting into the 3Ks and 5Ks, those Monday events are going to be difficult.
Yep.
So with that being said, the $1,500 no limit what is wrong with me? The no limit 6-handed event, $1,500. It's June 3rd, 1 re-entry, 40-minute levels on day 1, 60 minutes on day 2, 25K starting stack.
Yeah. And I know we already mentioned our roommate Brad, but he won this in 2021. We're staying with a bracelet winner. He won the 1,500 6 max for 300 something thousand. Pretty awesome.
What a stud.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because he's not even a no-limit specialist either. He's like a mixed game specialist.
Yeah, and he's not a professional poker player. Like, he takes it seriously.
He's a professional quality, but he's in terms of a career, he's a lawyer.
Right.
So he's just an overall stud.
Yeah, we'll tear you down when you're out there, but not publicly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got a disclaimer, so we kind of could. It's all for entertainment purposes, remember?
True. Brad, you're the worst.
One thing I want to mention about these 1,500s, I believe back in the Rio days, these were 60 minutes from the get-go, if I remember correctly.
So you could be right. I know my first World Series was the last Rio one, and it was 40 then, but I don't know anything for before that.
Okay. I might not be remembering correctly, but if that is the case, I do think they were 60 minutes from the get-go. Doesn't really matter. I'd still play that event. It's a good one.
Yep.
So after that, that's June 3rd. On June 4th, my favorite, the 1K Super Turbo Bounty Freeze Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one I skipped last year because there's a 1K and a 1,500 of this type of tournament. This is one I'll probably play if I'm not still in the Mystery Bounty. This would be an exciting one.
I was kind of in the air about it last year, and then I played it, and I had so much fun. I might be a little results-oriented because I did okay in it. But on June 4th, it's 20-minute levels, 20K starting stack, $300 bounty, and it's a freeze out. So you can't just go firing away.
Yeah,
Although some
you
people
just play.
do.
Is that a 1 day?
It's a 1 day event.
Ends that night.
Yeah, exactly. 1 day event.
You can win a bracelet.
Oh, well, they might carry over to a final table or something like that. But
Sure,
it might be. I think that it's structured as a 1 day event, if I remember correctly.
I believe you're right.
So last year in that event, I got 7 bounties and a min cash.
Yeah, that's still a good cash though, because a bounty is 300, right?
Yep.
And so you got 2,100 plus a min. So that's a lot more than just a min cash.
Yeah, I did pretty well in that event essentially. So that was a lot of fun. Definitely, there's 2 of them on the schedule this year. One's a 1,500 though as well. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that though. Next up, did you ever play this one?
The shootout.
Yeah.
I've not played the shootout before, and I don't think I'm going to this year.
Why
it's
is
not
that?
a priority. They're just infinite tournaments to play.
Okay.
And what's the start date on that again?
That's on. So this one is, I think, so it's June 7th. However, there's 2 flights.
Yeah.
I think it was just a 1 day event last year, or they added one late, if I remember correctly, because of some issues they had, something like that. There was some issues happening.
Well, let me put it this way. The priority during that time is the Gladiator event.
I forgot those kind of.
But hopefully I'll bag on the first flight. So maybe. I haven't ruled it out, but that's not a priority.
I'll explain why this event is super cool to those who aren't familiar with the shootout format. So a shootout format is like a sit and go, right? So everybody gets one table. You don't get switched from table to table. You play down to 1 player left. So you have to win that table, and then you're in the money. And then you come back the next day for the second table.
Yeah, and I will say, you get a big min cash. I want to say, so it's a 1,500.
I think you get like $5K or something?
Yeah, 5,200, something like that. So if now you can't ICM it up. Like you have to win all the chips at your table.
Yeah, you eliminate all that. You play to win. You have to win. So, and the structure at 40-minute levels with the 25K starting stack, like it's a deep structure with one table and just playing, just through that table. Like it plays out really nice. It's a lot of fun. I've played it. I've taken 2 shots at it. I have not won my table yet.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't played that.
Yeah. So highly recommend the shootouts. I know I enjoy them so much because I've been a sit and go grinder online for a long time. It's kind of where my dad played a lot when I was growing up and stuff like that. Yeah. So looking forward to that. Next up on the list here,
we got the no limit freeze out, $1,500 buy-in.
I love freeze outs, Wes.
I do too. I've done.
The purest form of poker.
It is the purest form of poker. And so the 1K freeze out actually was my first deep run in a bracelet event. I got 13th a couple of years ago. This is the 1,500 one.
1,500, yep. June 10th.
Yeah, again, for me personally, I mean, that is day 2 of the Gladiator. So, oh my God. So actually, oddly enough,
I know times are hard and you're stuck in the $300 events.
Yeah. So last year, that was on day 3 of the Gladiator because I remember it was going on at the final table.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'll just be too busy stacking up chips on day 2 of that event.
That's fair. No, that's fair. And if the Gladiator doesn't work out for you this year, you can hop into the no limit freeze out. 40-minute levels on day 1, 60-minute levels on day 2, just like the other 1,500 no limits. 25K starting stack. One I'm looking forward to personally.
Yeah.
I love those pure no limit tournaments with the freeze outs.
Those freeze outs are fun. Yeah.
Next up, the number 1 event on both of Wes's and I's lists outside of the main event Gladiator for you, of course. The Monster Stack.
Yes.
3 flights, June 14th through 16th, 1 entry per flight. So you can't rebuy. You bust, you have to wait till the next flight. So you have 3 chances total. 60-minute levels, 50K starting stack. It's deep. It's lovely. Might be biased because I've played it 3 or 4 times, and I've cashed every time I played it.
Yeah, I actually haven't. I cashed it for the first time last year. And actually, you and I,
somehow
we busted on back-to-back hands at the same table to the same guy.
Deep in day 2.
Yeah, we just got sat at the same table.
I think there was like 400 left or something. Out
that
of like
sounds
3,000.
right.
So it's like over 3,000.
We got 300-something place. Yeah.
Over 3,000 entries. Deep in day 2, all of a sudden I show up at...
Was it 3,000?
Yeah. Or I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, no, that's right.
So I think, that seems right. Anyways.
Oh, no, it was way more than that.
It could have been over 4,000.
Yeah, you keep talking. I need to look this up now.
Okay, I'll keep talking. So while he looks that up, the monster stack, it was deep in day 2. I get sat at his table. We have a very aggressive table. We have Chris Moorman's at our table with us, as well as some other names.
One guy who's a online crusher who we've played with a lot.
And now, someone I've become recently acquainted with, absolute crusher, Mr. Sasin on you.
Yeah, Tyler is his real
Tyler,
name.
yeah. Tyler, we know you listen to the podcast. Have much appreciation for your game, bro. Don't come to my table day 2, okay?
All right, so there were 8,317 entrants last year. I got 559th.
559th.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I got 558th or something.
I
Something
think
right
so,
in there.
yeah. So that's right. So there were
We hit the pale
a little
line at the
over
same time.
Yeah, there were a little over 1,200 that got paid out. And so yeah, we were deep in the money, but not to the point where we made that much more.
I just remember Chris Moorman absolutely slaughtering our table.
Yeah.
I was super card dead, and I think you were as well, too. So it was kind of tough to really make many moves at that point.
Yeah. I was hot early. I was hot on day 1 and then early on day 2, and then I just kind of coasted with
Yeah, I
decent
bagged a
stack.
pile. I came into day 2 with over 100 big blinds. Started off well, got to that table, lost a bunch of pots, and then went card dead from there and just couldn't recover from it. Sometimes that happens in tournaments. So,
And the last thing I'll say about that event is I know multiple other people who they're coming out specifically for that event. So if you're someone who hasn't played in the World Series before, 1,500 buy-ins are within your budget, even if you have to sell a little bit of action.
yeah, no problem selling. No shame. It's so much up top. It's the value is
I'll
incredible.
probably be selling some this year too. Anyways, this would be the event to do it for.
So that's the first page of 10K budget events. The second page and our final page for these is we'll start off with the $1,500 super turbo bounty freeze out. So there was the 1K before. This one's $1,500. So instead of a $300 bounty, you get a $500 bounty, and that's the only difference. And then obviously a little bit of a bigger main cash. So we won't stick on that too long. That's June 20th. You can find that. Just remember, everything we're going through on here is in sequential order. So if you're listening, you can kind of use this as a guide to maybe help you figure out a schedule of your own if you don't like the one that we've tailored for you. So after that is the next weekend, the $1,500 Millie Maker.
Yeah, and this is the one that, if it's not the monster sack, this is the other one that people will come out for.
Yeah, the two main, they're like essentially the mini main events, the $1,500 monster, the $1,500 Millie Maker.
Yeah. They're the ones that people talk about the most. Very similar to the monster stack in the sense that it has hour-long levels. The stack is just it's 25K. Obviously, the blinds start off lower, but the way it works, the way the math works is later on in day 1, you'll have less big blinds on average than you will in the monster stack.
Yeah.
So it's very slightly worse structure, but
Still great with 60-minute levels.
Still great.
Not bad. I remember this is 2021 or something. I'm deep into day 1 of the Millie Maker, and all of a sudden I hear the da 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 walking up, and I look behind me, and guess who it is?
who?
Daniel Negreanu.
Oh, I should have known.
with his phone in his hand, recording for his videos. Sits down 2 to my left.
Oh, really?
Deep in deep in day 1 of the Millie.
That's funny.
Yeah, so he sits down at my table, got to battle with Daniel Negreanu, who bluffed the shit out of him one time, which was super cool.
There we go. I did not know that you played with him, actually.
I did, yeah. So that was cool. I had a really good opponent to my left there. I ended up bagging heaps that day, but I ran a big bluff against my opponent to the left, and I just remember, while him and I in our hand, Daniel was so invested in watching us play. I've never seen anyone that dialed into a hand that they're not involved in. It actually he was just studying his opponents that hard. He wasn't distracted looking at his phone or nothing like that. He was invested into what each of us were doing, even in a $1,500 Millie Maker event.
That's pretty cool. Especially, because that event it's such a small buy-in for his level of play.
Yeah, he's playing everything all the way up to the top high roller. So,
You know what that reminds me of, though? I feel like one thing I love about the series is when I go out there, I'm just there for the series for such a long time. And I feel like I'm more dialed in. I have to be.
you have to be, yeah. And it comes naturally, especially when you've done it a bunch of times. The nerves kind of go away and then the dialing in kind of comes in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if it's your first time experiencing the World Series of Poker and you're kind of nervous, just hang in there.
Yeah.
It'll help.
And give me all your chips.
Yeah. Don't be greedy, Wes. It was super cool to play with Daniel Negreanu. If you actually, I don't know, in one of his 2021 vlogs, we made an appearance, so that was kind of cool.
Nice.
After that, Wes,
What do we have after that?
it's one of my favorite events that I played last year. We did not cash it, but
no.
yeah, it was a lot
the
of
tag
fun.
team, 1K tag team. So $500 per partner. This one's a little. I actually am not a big fan of the way they do this one because
Really?
yeah, you have two people, and as long as each player plays at least one orbit, the other player can play the whole thing.
That part I agree with. However, I love this structure over every other tag team event at every other casino,
That's also fair.
where it's like you're forced to play level and switch a level.
The actual structure of the tournament is much better than
60-minute levels, 20K starting, 60-minute levels right out of the gate. It's a freeze out, so you can't rebuy. But you and I kind of took on the one level each. And then if I was kind of like eating or something, I'd let you play a little extra.
Yeah.
And vice versa. We had some, what did we call them? Some Mizregs at our table.
There was a Mizreg at one of our tables. I've seen him a couple other times.
I've seen him a couple times after that too, but he was essentially not paying attention on his phone. He's like just kind of
I think he was working. He
said he was working, yeah. Anyways, that was a super fun event. We ended up, gosh, I'll never forget that. You got in a flush draw versus a set.
I flopped a pair. It was like King 7 suited. The flop was Ace 7 something with
two spades.
Yeah.
And
he
then
just had pocket aces.
Yeah.
It was a 3-way hand too, so someone else put in a bunch of chips.
I was watching Wes at this point. Wes gets it all in with a pair and a flush draw versus top set. I mean, with how many big blinds we had, it's pretty standard. But then we turn the spade, and we're just like, yes, let's fucking go. And then the board pairs on.
Yeah, the river was another 7, which is annoying because
he blocked it.
Looks like it's supposed to be a good card, but it's a bad card.
So yeah, so we ended up busting there with nut flush versus top boat.
Yeah.
Anyways, I had a lot of fun. I hope we get the opportunity to play that again.
We dressed up a little extra spiffy that day too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're part of, we got the suited kings going, we might have to actually just kind of do it hard this year.
I think we will.
Yeah, like fully suited with the crown.
All right.
That would be sick. I'm down for that. So, following up the tag team, Mr. Wes, we had actually someone we recently interviewed got second in this next event.
Yeah, so the $1,000 mini main event, which is a freeze out. The blind structure is exactly like the main event, but it's only 30-minute blinds. So it's much more turbo-y. And I didn't even play it last year because
Me neither.
Apparently the line for registration was just out the door. Or the line for seating, I should say, was just out the door. Haven't played this one before, but yeah, Josh Reichert got second place for I want to say around 330,000.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
A ton of money. For a 1K, he made heaps. I was definitely rooting for Josh to win it all. He got second, though.
Yeah.
I am not a fan that they call it the mini main and it has such a turbo structure, though.
Yeah, it's really just because the amount of chips and the blinds are the exact same, but it's not. It's just, again, a branding thing, another tournament.
So we have two events left, Wes, for the 10K budget kind of guideline. Before we get into this, I just want to mention this is our inaugural World Series of Poker schedule episode.
Yeah,
I hope this is something we do for years and years on. You know
it
what I mean?
will be,
and something that people look forward to as like the guide that helps them get their summers planned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So after the 1K mini main on July 2nd, the 1K no limit freeze out on July 6th. So I think this is either the last day one of the main or day 2 of the main.
Yeah. So this is the event that 2 years ago, it was in earlier June, but this is the one where I made the first real, not my first cash of the World Series, but it was my first real deep run I ever had.
What place did you get in that?
13th out of 1,700 or so.
This is before I knew you.
Yeah, I think you were there.
I knew who you were.
I think
I
you
walked
saw
by
me
you, yeah.
with a couple tables left.
Yeah, I did. I walked by and I'm like, who's that scrub? I was like, this Minnesota kid thinks he's good. I'll show him.
Yeah.
No, just playing around. But so, what was your score in that?
19K, which is a
so
little
close
bit,
to all the money.
I
It's
know.
bittersweet for sure.
But
30-minute levels kind of bugs me. I wish it was 40-minute levels.
Yeah.
For 1K.
Is it really 30?
30-minute levels, 20K starting. I'm not sure if they reduced it, but that's what it
20K is normal. It used to be 40 though.
Yeah, so
it was 40.
They made it a little more turbo-y this year. And then there's one event left, Wes.
Yeah.
The $1,500 closer, the closer.
Yeah.
July 15th and 16th. This is essentially the, load the clip up and just fire away because it's unlimited re-entries, 30 minutes blinds, 50K starting stack, but unlimited re-entry. So, I mean, it's a $1,500 event. For all those people that are buried at this point, they're going to be coming and just trying to bag piles essentially.
Yeah. I was sick for that one last year. That's another one. It's just a 1,500 multi-day.
One I'll probably skip personally.
Yeah, we'll see. I might be tired out by then, but
yeah, I'm another one of the ones that I just won't be playing. Well, Wes, you got something to say?
Yeah, there's one thing I thought of.
Okay.
So the 1K freeze out when I went deep was event number 18.
Okay.
And last year the Gladiator was event number 18. So I have some event number 18 magic.
Okay, hold on here. What do we got for event 18 this year?
So I've just looked it up and I'm not too excited by it. It's the 1,500 PLO.
You aren't even going to play that. You have to play it now. you just put yourself in a position, bro. Like, yeah, Wes, we grind global online, as many of you know, and I'm the only one. So they have series, like the Grizzly series, which just finished yesterday. But Wes has his PLO tournaments shut off, so he doesn't even get to view them.
Yeah, I think I've played one total, one or two.
And it's a $1,500 PLO. Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, if the stars align, you might as well just hop in the mix and see what happens.
Oh man,
yeah.
Event 17 is the 800 deep stack. They should have made that 18.
Swap those out.
Oh,
let's go talk with Jack Effel, the main tournament director.
I'll put in a word or two.
You just go reach out to him. He just stiff shoulders you.
That's probably what would happen.
So we kind of discussed all of the budget, and then which is 1,000 and under, and then everything from 1K to I'd say pretty much 15K or 1,500.
1,500, yep.
And we kind of put those under the 10K budget trip. For the 10K budget trip, I set out a 2-week kind of schedule, which I think aligns with you.
Yeah.
Does that seem right? That's going to be from June 14th to June 28th. And what this is going to include is both the Millie Maker and the Monster Stack, which are the two best $1,500 on the schedule, in my opinion.
I agree. But I didn't do it by a specific day, but I said, yeah, if you're there, play the Monster Stack and the Millionaire Maker. And then, yeah, there's some bigger, medium buy-ins in between those two as well. If you do want to play those cheaper buy-ins that we had mentioned after the Millie Maker, that's on the table.
Well, I just happened to organize this, Wes, both weeks. So week 1, I have 4 events. Week 2, I have 4 events. For week 1, start off with the $1,500 Monster. Follow that up with the 1K Super Turbo Bounty. Love that. Then after that, the $1,500 Shootout.
All right.
And then the $1,500 No Limit Freeze Out.
All right.
Week 2 would be the $1,500 Super Turbo Freeze Out. So that's... did I say? Yeah. So the first one was 1K. This one's $1,500 Super Turbo Freeze Out. The $1,500 Millie Maker, which is the weekend after the Monster Stack.
Yep.
The $600 Poker News event.
Yep.
And then if you still got money in your pocket, you can fire the 3K No Limit.
Oh, the 3K. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to put you over 10K.
Yeah, it will. I mean, and again, these are just all of the really good events that are within that time frame. The truth is that you'll probably make day 2s in some events, which you'll have to then skip other events. And you just might allocate a couple buy-ins towards one, so you'll skip one of these anyways. But those are the 8 best events during that 2-week time frame, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's a good way to structure it. It's always good to mention, like, when you're planning these things out, I made my list of tournaments knowing full well that a good chunk of them I just won't play because I'll still be in other ones or I'll be exhausted or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're out there for so long, I think it is important to recognize if you're a little bit tired out or just exhausted.
Yeah.
Take a day. You have a tournament scheduled that day, but you're not feeling 100%. Take a day off, go into the mountains, do some hiking, go play a round of golf. That's kind of exhausting as well, but it's mentally relieving to get outside, see some green. You know what I mean? When you're in the desert and in casinos for a month straight, it can hurt the soul a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's a great transition into probably the last topic that we have is just sort of when you're out there for a long time,
Yeah.
how do you keep your sanity? How do you keep your energy? You know, how do you maintain a lifestyle where you won't be completely exhausted by the end?
Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about what are some things you did last year in between? Well, you played a lot last year. You didn't take
I
a lot
played
of
a
time.
lot last year.
You
Yeah.
didn't take a lot of time off.
Yeah, I came back and I was like somehow lost a bunch of weight.
That's normal for me. Anytime. So here's the reason for that. From my understanding, is we're sitting at a table all day with adrenaline pumping, and your body is using that to burn fat and calories, right?
Yeah, I mean, and when you're using your brain
Yeah,
a lot, you're still gonna.
Do you
burn a
notice,
lot of
like, after a
calories.
long day of poker, you're not even being physical, but you're sweating? Like, I'm pity now. I'm starting to stink a little bit. Like,
I mean, I sweat. I don't stink ever.
I don't I don't smell like shit, but I'm just saying, like, you get
no,
like, I'm a little ripe today.
yeah, I have felt that on numerous occasions. I think for me last year, there was a time when I just said, okay, I need to take a day or two and just sort of stay at the house. I did a little bit of like,
You hiked, didn't you?
I didn't actually hike. I did take some walks.
Okay.
I did, I did like some light sort of body weight type of workout stuff at home. I think one of the best things for me is, I think I was there 45 days last year. I had 4 or 5 alcoholic beverages on the entire time.
Yeah. Seems good.
Yeah.
You're not much of a drinker anyways, neither am I.
Yeah. You didn't know, I mean, clearly you didn't know me in my earlier 20s,
yeah.
but
That was only like a year ago, but
yeah, keeping your energy, getting good sleep. I mean, one of the toughest things about some of these day twos is sometimes they start at 10 a.m. and you'll be playing till 1 a.m. the night before or something. So making sure that you are able to get a decent amount of sleep, eat some good breakfast, make sure, I would say,
focus on your health a little bit.
yeah, none of this is like,
Drink a lot of water throughout the day too. Get a bottle, maybe not a bottle of water, but like what do they call those things? I can't even think of them.
bottle was the word I was going to go for.
A bottle of water for
yeah.
there's another word I was thinking about, but anyways, a bottle of water, and just drink water throughout the day. Keep your body hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Yeah, I mean, none of this is like earth-shattering stuff,
but a lot of times forget or just don't do it.
Yeah, and when you're in a place like Vegas, especially if you stay on the Strip, it's hard to just get good, healthy food in you all the time.
Agreed. Yeah.
So make a plan to, have some healthy snacks with you. Always have water with you. Move around a bit, and you don't have to do full workouts all the time, but just make sure you're moving around a bit because you're going to be sitting in one place for a long time, day after day, most likely. And, keep a good perspective on it too. It's easy when you are, let's say you've played a few tournaments and you've just gotten some bad beats or you're questioning some of your plays, like take a step back and just realize you're out here playing poker. Like there are a lot of people that wish that they could do what you do, even if you're just going out there for a few days. Like so many people don't have the opportunity to go do that. And
yeah, it's
just have fun.
It's important to remind yourself where you are, what you're doing, and how fortunate you are.
Yeah.
Things I did last year, which I really enjoyed, that helped me, were I went and played golf with some friends.
Yeah.
That was I'm not the greatest golfer, but I love it. And it's the only time I saw green out in Vegas.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
The felt.
Yeah.
The felt is the next
felt.
closest thing.
Yeah. So some actual lush grass and things like that. Get out of the Strip. You know what I mean? I swam a lot, hit up the pool a ton each day at our Airbnb that you and I shared with our friends. We went after, we'd go to the bar and get some late night food and a beer. That was super fun and revitalizing for me as well. So those are a bunch of different things I did. There's actually one more topic I wanted to touch on before we kind of wrap things up here, Wes, and that's food options.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So
what do you have for that?
Yeah. So depending, say we'll kind of discuss dinner options or like dinner break options, and then I have a couple of days where you're not playing places you could eat.
The nice dinners.
Yeah, the nice dinner. So I think being in Vegas, it's important to treat yourself to a nice dinner out there because you'll find the best food in the world in Vegas. Mm-hmm. So yeah, with that said, starting off, Planet Hollywood, right outside of the Horseshoe. You just walk down, it takes about 5-10 minutes to get there. You can get there on dinner break. It's not too busy. At Planet Hollywood, you can find Earl of Sandwich, which is my favorite, the number one spot to go on break for me personally. I love their Chipotle chicken avocado sandwich. Chef's kiss.
Nice.
So good. And within there, within Planet Hollywood, there's also a Chick-fil-A, a P.F. Chang's. Got some decent options in there.
Nice. For me personally, I would say I don't even know that I have a go-to option. The one thing that I wanted to make sure to touch on is, well, two things. One is to have a plan, because a lot of the restaurants that are sit-down places will be booked up.
Yep.
So just have an idea of where you're going to go.
Yeah, maybe set a reservation a couple hours before your dinner break. Call them up. Take a step away from the table. Call them up. Set a reservation. We do that sometimes. There's a lot of places actually right around the Horseshoe you can go to eat. I can't think of the names. You, John Reddy, and I stopped one place.
I went to that place a few times. It has good burgers and a really good salad that I had a few times.
Isn't it the not Whataburger? What the heck is it called? It's the one that that actor owns, or that
something burger.
Oh, what the heck is it called? It's oh my gosh,
I don't know.
I think he's from Boston or anyways.
The other thing I wanted to say is make sure not to
Wahlburger.
There we go.
There it is.
WAHL.
Yeah, Wahlburger. Not far from there. They have some salad options, burger options.
Yep. So, the main thing I wanted to touch on too was don't overeat. I remember a couple of years ago, there were back-to-back tournaments where I felt like I made what was maybe not a massive blunder, but I busted 2 tournaments on like back-to-back days soon after dinner break in spots where I could justify the play I made, but I don't think it was the best one. And I felt like it was a little bit lack of judgment. And
lack of focus from maybe being too full and content from eating too much.
That's sort of what I came up with. Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, I've definitely been there after eating a ton. You kind of become tired and complacent, and you're not as, like you said, while it might not be a terrible decision, like you're struggling to get to that even better decision.
Yeah, they weren't epic punts, but they were plays I'd normally get away from them.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Don't eat too much on your dinner breaks. Try, one thing I would recommend is, if you can, is get granola bars and water and things like that, and snack throughout the day. That'll help keep your energy up without being too full and keep you hydrated. Another quick option, I don't recommend this too much, but if you're on a short break or if everything else is packed, you can always go into the Horseshoe basement. I don't know if they call it that, but it's like the bottom level of the Horseshoe. If you're coming out of the Horseshoe poker room area and you hang a left down the escalators there, there's the whole food court there with some Asian place. There's a Sbarro's, a burger joint, hot dog joint. Nothing too healthy right there, but something quick for everybody if you need to get some food in you.
Cool.
Yeah. And after that, I mean, dining joints, I got like 3 go-tos that I love personally. There's so many good places. I can't even remember the names of some of these places. I had a bunch of new ones last year, but 3 that come to mind immediately. And these aren't really dinner break places. These are, you got the day off and you want to go out with friends. My number 1, my current favorite restaurant of all time, Mastro's in the Aria Mall. We went there.
We did go there.
Yep, we went there with a bunch of friends. That was a good... Did you like... Oh, you got... All right. I remember you getting sick after we ate this.
It was good, though.
That place was really good. I think... I'm not sure why you got sick, but I've never got sick there. Mastro's is incredible. Inside Paris is Nobu, which is like sushi and stuff like that. Very popular. If you've been to the World Series of Poker, you've walked by it a million times. Mm-hmm. And then lastly is Umiya Sushi, where they have the bomb sushi if you're looking for sushi.
Yeah, I'm a big sushi guy. I'll have to go there this summer.
It's a great spot. And, for those who are listening, I know there's a lot of really good other places. I just can't think of a lot of the names right now. So, those are 3 that came to my head right away. I think those ones you'll enjoy a lot. Yeah. Wes, I think it's time we wrap things up here.
This has been a long one.
It has been. I have no idea how long it's been, but I'm so excited for the World Series of Poker, getting out there. I think what I'm looking forward to most is just hanging out with my friends and running deep in tournaments at the same time. Like, just having that excitement with my colleagues. You know what I mean?
It's always fun to be on the rail of someone who's at a final table or final couple tables, whatever it is, feel that excitement. It's also exciting to be the one at in the deep run yourself.
Yeah. If you're not in the deep run, sweating your friends is just, maybe not just as fun, but it's a lot of fun. And there's always that opportunity for someone, and especially from the Minnesota poker scene. So many people make it out there. There's always someone to sweat.
Yeah. When we know there will be someone, there will be deep runs.
Yeah. Congrats to our good friend Ian Matakis for winning the Player of the Year, WSoP 2023 Player of the Year last year.
Yeah. He's going for back-to-back now.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely going
Make sure to check out his interview that we did a few months back.
Yeah.
Super
October, probably.
Super insightful interview. Wes, let's go ahead and wrap this up here. We'll do the usual. Talk about the Discord channel. If you guys haven't joined our Discord yet, make sure to hop in there. We have hand discussions going on every single day, and they're not shallow. They are deep hand discussions with multiple different viewpoints from lots of different people. We're just about to hit 100 members in there. There's no price or no charge for joining there. There's no charge period. Like, we don't charge for it. So hop in there.
Yeah, and you're probably costing yourself by not joining it. If anything,
there's so much value. Yeah, if you say you're at your local tournament today and you want to know if you really played it well, write down that hand and come type it up in Discord because you can get Discord on your phone, on your laptop, any sort of mobile device. Like, get in our Discord. Find my Twitter at Deuce Nukem. There's a link to join it right there. Make sure to hop in that. After this, today, actually, Wes and I are going to be starting our video content series, which we're looking forward to sharing with you guys. After we're done recording here, we're going to get right on that. So, Wes, anything you want to end this on?
I'm excited for the World Series now. It's weird. It's still over 3 months away, so plenty of time beforehand, but it's always good to see the schedule come out and really start preparing. It gets me more excited to hit the ground running with studying and going over hands.
Yeah, so. And we'll maybe we'll do an episode on ways to prepare for the World Series of Poker.
I think that's a good idea. And the one thing I'll say now is don't wait till the middle of May to do that.
Yeah, get started now. Really
now.
Start dialing it in, and then by the time that comes, your confidence level will be through the roof, and you'll be ready to make some big scores.
There we go.
Let's get it. All right, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day, morning to night, whenever time it is you're listening to this. And until next time, we'll see you next week.